Hey guys, this is J Tutorials, and today I'm going to be trying something new. I'm going to be trying the engineering sniper. As you can see, some of my utilities are a little bit different, but I was playing around with some stuff and it seemed to work pretty well. Stats are alright. I just switched from marksman, so I'm not exactly sure where the carryover is, but I looked like I did pretty well. For this game, we do have the advantage of getting healers, so it's a good game for me to kind of show what I'm doing, my DPS rotation, and how I deal with the class. So jumping right in, kind of going off to the side, I let other people burst specs get the damage, and I just threw out the little AoE on dot just to stop people from charging in. I put one dot on them, I root him in place, then I put my AoE dot and then stun him inside the AoE dot, pop all of my offensive cooldowns, and then just go forward in DPS. Damage is ticking like crazy, I'm able to get a kill. So then just kind of going around over here doing the same thing. I see a sniper in cover, so I pop him out of cover with a diversion and then lay down some DPS on him. Stun inside, and then continue with the series of shots for a kill. So at this point, I kind of just throw down a little AoE right there. I see someone's capping, so I go forward, and after the stun wears off, I root the guy. But then turning around, I see that there's someone else on the door, so I reposition myself, put down some dots, put down a defenses for my team in the area. Might have not been a great time to use it, but usually when people are bottlenecked in the door, they try to get out of it, so I thought I would provide our team a bit more protection back. And then, as you can see, we're kind of taking them down pretty well. So when you're starting to clean up, you need to take the opportunity to look around you. So I rolled, rooted him there, put down an AoE dot, and then went to cap the door. But unfortunately, an assassin stopped us. So at this point, I use my cover pulse to knock him away from my guy, throw down a little bit of AoE around the door, and then roll away to root people in place, and then just continue my DPS again. So right there, a little bit of focus from engineering is pretty good for taking down healers. I like how we're able to focus and provide a slow build up and then a quick burst at the end. So it's pretty fun to play. So as you can see, just kind of pushing and putting the Marauder in my dot, and then continuing our rotation for the kill. My rotation is a little bit different than a lot of people's, I think, for the spec. I'm still trying to figure out what works. Throwing down some AoE because I took down my utility, and all of our AoE damage is in pretty hard. Now, after I saw the people were starting to clear up, I then rolled forward to the door and then started to cap, and it was a good thing I did because the Sork was out of range and too focused, and so I was able to get the door. So then I threw down an orbital strike near the doors just to make sure that no stealthers are going to cap it, and then just waiting for it and killing anyone else who comes. So throwing down a little area of effect dot and then continuing our DPS to get the kill there. Rolling through to root the assassin in stealth, and then throwing down a bunch of AoE damage. I talk in my videos a lot about roles and what each of our characters should be doing, and really we should be just a lane. We have so many area of effects, slows, roots, so I see everyone else just kind of getting ahead, and what I want to do is make sure that I can slow the whole team down. So after I saw that we killed just about everyone, I went forward, put down a dot, rooted the guy in place, put down my AoE dot, then my EMP discharge, and then proc my offensive cooldowns again, and it's a pretty powerful combo. I had to readjust a little bit because he LOS'd me, but after I was able to move in for the kill, it was pretty powerful. Someone's on my back, so I entrench, push him away, root him in place, and throw down some more DPS. I see two guys up there, so I try to throw down my AoE, but then they move out of it, and then just DPS as he gets to the door. Again, keep your camera swiveling, make sure you can readjust and hit a bunch of targets at once. Going forward on this next guy, again, they're kind of, the doors are timed in the way that as soon as we kill them, the doors open again, so we need to just do our best to kill them as quickly as possible, and then get them all behind the doors. As you see, I'm getting great heals, so I'm able to take a more forward position than I would usually take. Threw down the diversion to pop the sniper out of cover again, and then he threw down his diversion, so I wanted to get out of that as soon as I could, and then get right back into cover after I put a dot on the other DPS. So as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of focus right now, so I kind of look around, roll to dodge some of the damage and get more toward the back line, and then throw down some AoE where a couple people were, and then slowing them in the AoE. Root the guy in place in series of shots to finish him off. Or series of shots, push the other guy away, put the healing debuff on the target, throw out the AoE to try to pop him out of stealth. I see the guy just hanging out there, so I roll forward, quick takedown to finish him off. Then I throw down a couple dots, root the guy in place, throw down more dots, put up my AoE dot, and then use my EMP discharge to finish him off. The spec's pretty weird from what I'm used to in regards to energy. A lot of the time, you need to try to stay in a range of energy, but in this spec, a lot of times you actually dip beyond the energy and then get the energy back because the charges on one of your abilities, I'm going to mess up the name, so I'm not even going to try, but you actually regain your energy. So I kind of entrench right here and then try to push people back, but unfortunately no one was actually capping the door. So again, last time I went for the cap, I kind of assumed someone else would do it, but really in these types of games, if you want it done, you kind of have to do it yourself. So don't be scared, especially if you have a bunch of healers. Just get on the door, because a lot of people aren't going to be on the door. So I stunned one ranged DPS, and then just kind of throwing down some dots as I started my rotation on him. So that's like the third or fourth time I've done that combo where I put my one dot on him, root him, do my AoE dot, and then do my EMP discharge so that he's stunned in all three of the dots, or all two of the dots. Throwing down some AoE again because there's a bit of a cluster right there. And then I saw the saber reflex, so I put down a couple dots so I don't kill myself with that. Popping some defensives for my team because we're all kind of grouped up again. And then try to push them away. Throw down a little AoE to scare people away from my healers, and then roll forward to try to cap the door. And usually this would be a great thing to do, and I end up actually getting the door, but because we waited so long, we didn't actually get through the doors. The round ended. So a pretty good round by me. Obviously, as you saw, I had a lot of help from healers, but the utilities that I took, the slow after the root wears off, the slow on the shatter shot is really good for games like this where you have a bunch of people moving around and all you're trying to do is just maintain them, like root them, slow them, and get them inside your DPS so you can build up and finish them off. So in the next couple of minutes, I think I get intense amount of focus, but one, I'm getting healed, but also look how I'm easy to be healed. I'm always maintain line of sight with my healers. I'm always able to stay up in a place where I can roll away and take some of the focus off me when it gets rough. So again, just kind of moving out a little bit. I put a root on the guy and a dot, and then kind of use this position to, one, maintain line of sight with the door, and two, just get some DPS in. The marksman sniper's on me, so I threw my dodge, which basically negates all of his attacks, and then moved forward into this area right here. I threw down a dot because I saw a couple people in there, rolled forward to root him in the dot, and then used my other dot, stunned him inside the dot with the EMP discharge, and then continued with my rotation. Fortunately, I get stunned, so I'm kind of off to the side right now, and again, as I was talking about, you want to get into a position where you're easy to be healed, so I rolled, dodged a couple of his attacks, put down some AoE by the door, and then threw down some more AoE. I have all three of my AoE right there on those two people, and as you can see, they fall and health really quickly. So use my entrench, and actually interrupted as well when I probably should have just used entrench, but it's a force of habit. to also interrupts when they're doing their whirlwind, because you do not want to sit out the whole stun. And so then moving forward, I see the healer, so I put my trauma on him and use series of shots to finish him off. I put down an orbital strike just because I wanted to make sure no one was going to cap you on my back as I moved to swivel. And then, unfortunately, even with the trauma that I put on him, he's still staying alive pretty well. But because I took the utility point that the trauma was prolonged, I don't have to refresh it, my trauma, so I can do more DPS that way. Alright. So then we're starting to clear up in this side, so I make sure to throw on a couple dots, a root as I roll forward. I think someone called out before, so I want to make sure I'm able to help. Put down a dot, put down my AoE right there on a nice EMP discharge as soon as I get it off. And then pop my offensive cooldowns to really make a difference right there. Put down a little bit of AoE, maybe it was unnecessary, he rolled away. So I make sure to just do the little bit extra DPS. Unfortunately, I see a Sage on me, so I do a quick flashbang and then move away. I get a guard right now, and I know there's healers around, so I kind of pop out here. I use my entrench so that his whirlwind wouldn't do anything, and then just doing some more DPS. I see someone coming, so I start my DPS. And then I'm starting to get a fair amount of focus. I have to pop some defensive cooldowns and roll away to resist all of the attacks. Roll again because I was in trouble and I wanted to make sure that I could get the health node. And so then I see, unfortunately they steal the health node, so then I have to use my evasion, both my stims, and then I move forward to my healer. So that's what I'm talking about being an easy target to heal. You want to get yourself in a position where your healers don't have to move to heal you. All they have to do is click on your little bar or whatever. Again, dodging to roll away from some of the people. I'm in the evasion, or in the accuracy debuff, so I move out of that. And then the sniper seems to be on me, so I throw a couple dots on him. I put down my my shield for the team because I was in the middle of the map. Rolled forward to root the two people and pushed the guy away. Put the dot on both of them and then did a grenade to hit him. So he moved toward me, so I made sure to hit him with a stun. Then, as I got my dots off him, I could get another stun off with my EMP. Used entrench so that the melee DPS can interrupt me. Rolled forward to dodge them, and then put a couple dots on the healer. Remember that we're in AoE spec, and look at all the AoE damage I was able to get there. So, although it's very nice to pick off the targets on the end of the map, you also want to make sure that you're doing what your role is. And again, I talked about roles of slowing people, but our roles is also just to do damage to a lot of people in a group. So that's why I'm in the back line right now, putting my AoE dot on 2 of the people. And as you saw right there, I was taking some damage, but I used my cover pulse as defensive because I still have that in my discipline. It's very helpful for staying alive. Rolled forward again to kind of LOS the sniper, and then let my healers catch up. I started doing a series of shots, but I canceled it because I saw the saber reflect. And then as soon as the guy moved in, I stunned, put down a couple dots, EMP discharge, and then finished him off with my explosive. So again, we're starting to clear up on this side, so I throw down a couple of dots on over here. I put a shatter shot on him to stop his healing. I root on him to make sure that he can't force speed away, and so he had the barrier. And then I move forward to the other side so that we can make sure to watch the other door as well. Remember, as you're moving forward, don't just pick a target. Attack whoever's closest to you so you can maintain higher DPS, especially in a class like this where we have 35 meters of range for basically all of our abilities. So as you saw when I'm taking down this mercenary, what I didn't do is put my dots on him. Usually that's what you want to do, but he was at such a low health that after a takedown and a series of shots he would have been dead. So it would have been more effective for me to not apply my dots when he would be dead before most of the duration would be in effect. So then I'm throwing down some AoE right now. By the time the actual orbital strike went down, there was only one of them. So again, sometimes I'm a little over enthusiastic in this game about the AoE, but I figured I'm still trying it out, and I'm still trying to make sure that I'm doing my job as an AoE DPS, and so I'll refine it a little bit. Rolling forward again just to watch the other side. See the sniper, so I throw a couple dots on him, but throw my diversion and pop him out of stealth. EMP discharge to get a stun, I think, but he might have dodged it. I put down my shield to help me and my other DPS in the area, and then just continuing on DPS since he's on somebody else. But then I wasn't able to see the door, so I made sure to throw down an orbital strike to make sure no one could cap the door, and then make sure to start some DPS on the healer. As you saw, again, I did the rotation I made up. It's the 1 dot root AoE dot, and then EMP discharge to stun. Saw a couple people over there, so I put some suppressive fire, rolled over to cut the LOS of the person, threw down a little bit of AoE right there. I saw someone on me, so I did my pushback on him to push him away, and then that's game. So sorry for the hurried narration. I wanted to make sure I was telling everything that I was doing. As you saw, I was able to get some decent DPS for the spec. Clearly, there are people that got higher than me, but it's a Sork and a Jug, probably a dot Jug. So I did pretty well. This is like my second day or whatever. So far, my thoughts have been pretty good. I took some interesting discipline choices that I don't think a lot of people take, and they worked out pretty well. Some amazing healers that kept me alive and made sure I had a good game to show you guys. So as always, thanks for watching. Feel free to check out my other videos, and I'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible.